Hi guys, it's Ms. Ayers. We're going to watch our third and final video on the persuasive essay. And we'll be talking about appeals to emotion, rhetorical questions, and allusions. So let's get started. First of all, I'm calling this video gravy, which is an expression we use to talk about optional stuff, stuff that's nice to have but that we don't need. You know, for example, over Thanksgiving break, I didn't have gravy once, and yet the way my pants are tight now reassures me that I still had plenty to eat. So we're talking about the gravy, stuff that's nice, but you don't have to have it to have a complete paper. So if this stuff helps you and you want to work it in, great. But if you don't find a way to work it in, it's going to be okay. So you might remember from the last video, we had been talking about trying to persuade Mr. Kruger to drop Henry David Thoreau in exchange for Edith Wharton in American literature. We had a concession to the opposition, a call to action, and appeals to reason. I could also use some appeals to emotion in trying to convince Mr. Kruger to do this. Appeals to emotion invoke strong feelings in the audience. So, it's using emotional language to try to get the audience to make the change that you'd like. Rhetorical questions are questions we can pose to an audience when they don't really expect an answer because the answer is so obvious. So that's a way to sort of lead the audience on to our way of thinking. And finally, we could use an allusion, a reference to a person, a place, or an event, or a literary work that we're pretty sure the audience would be familiar with and they'd be able to follow our example. So if my audience is Mr. Kruger, I have elected to use an allusion to Dick Butkus, who evidently was a really good football player for the Chicago Bears, and that's Mr. Kruger's favorite team. So after I've given my appeals to reason and a very good concession to the opposition, and I think I've got him nearly on board, I might want to drive my point home by using all these rhetorical devices at once by posing this question. Jim, would Dick Butkus just sit back and whimper in the face of a challenge? Would Dick Butkus be too intimidated to try something new when the offense changed things up on him? No. He'd adjust, he'd change, and he'd hit that running back so hard his grandma in the stands would feel it. So there I've used an appeal to emotion. I've used this emotional language of intimidation or whatever, I don't know, whatever language football guys talk. It's not really my thing. I've also used a couple rhetorical questions by saying, would Dick Butkus do this? No, he wouldn't. And then obviously the allusion to Dick Butkus is this famous guy that I know Mr. Kruger would know. I, however, had to Google him. Okay, so use those appeals to emotion, rhetorical questions, and allusions if you think they can help you. And if you don't, remember they're gravy. They're just optional. I did tell you in our last class that I would provide some sort of check to make sure you did your homework and watched this video. So as a way to ensure that you did that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your prep email account and send me an email. For the text of the email, I just want you to finish this statement for me. I love DOL because, and then give me a reason you love DOL, because obviously you do. Who doesn't? It's like loving dessert. You love that. And finally, make sure you take care of that before our next class begins. That'll be worth 5 composition points. 5 out of 5 for doing it, 0 out of 5 for not having it done on time. So take care of it, guys. Good luck with the persuasive essays. Always see me if you need help.